Hi guys, good afternoon. Let us start with our session today. Today we are going to discuss about looping statements. So last week we have discussed about if switch statements, and today we are going to discuss about one important topic like looping statements. Uh, in these looping statements, we are going to see there are three concepts: while, do while, and for loop. So these three loops are very basic things that everyone should do, right? So everyone should know about this, because when you are appearing for the interview, they will ask for some small programs you should write, right? So I have some small programs to explain how we can proceed about it, because learning the concept will help you. So I will help you to write some small logic so that you can start writing your own logic upcoming programs. So if you see any other logics, so you can able to interpret yourself on it. That's what I'm going to take some small programs so that you can able to start writing your own logic, right? So we'll start with while loop. So basically, why we are going for looping statements, right? So when you want to do same operation multiple times, right? So those kind of situations, we can go for the while statement. For example, I'll give you one small example. When you want to perform factorial, what will you do? So one small operation, right? So what is that? You want to multiply multiple times, right? See, for example, if you want to find factorial of 5, what will you do? So you will try to multiply 5 into 4, 4 into 3, 3 into 2, 2 into 1. So here the same operation is multiplication. So how many times you want to do? 5 times, right? So you need to you need to think about it. There are three things. One is condition. How many times it needs to be done. So what you want to do, those things, it comes to the statements, right? So these are the things you need to do. Initially, we will follow some initialization, that we will do in our program. So here I'll so here you need to write the condition, and here you are going to write the statement which are going to do continuously. That those statements will come inside the while loop, right? So I'll write one program for factorial now using the while loop, right? So using the while loop, I'll cover all these five. Okay. So then we will discuss about what is do while loop, then for loop. Then you need to convert the five programs using the for loop and do while loop. So whatever the things. So if you want to do with the while, you can able to do the same do while loop and for loop also. So the concept is same, but the syntax is different, right? So I will cover all the five programs using the while loop, right? So you need to convert all those five programs using this do while loop and for loop. This is what the content today, right? So I'll start writing the program. So I'll create one class file. So here I'll give. So we are going to discuss factorial. Right? So I'll give factorial. So there is a main method. Okay. So this will comes with the factorial, then public static void main string arguments. Okay. So when you have last week we discussed about how we can get input from the console, right? So instead of doing with that, so I directly go with the concept. So I'm declaring 5, right? So I want to find the factorial for the number 5. How I can do with that, right? So there are 5. See, you can multiply using 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. That also fine. And otherwise, you can go with the 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So it's up to you. So using while loop. So how many times I need to do, or what is the my maximum? What will be my condition? Right? So here, what I'm going to do is my number. So my number. Okay. So what I will do, I greater than or equal to 1 or something like that. You can, so here I will declare int I equal to okay. So I should be or we can do number also. Number also. What I will do, we will declare one variable called fact. Again, because you cannot, so every variable should have some initial variable value. So I'm giving fact equal to 1. So here, what you need to do is, so I'm going to reduce my number value from 5 to 1, which means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So the factorial variable value is going to have 1. Okay, so fact, which means 1 into initially my number value is 5, right? So I'll give 5, or that I can give you number. So 1 into 5. Now the fact will have 5. So now I need to reduce this number value by 1. So I can give number minus 1. So there is one operator called increment and decrement operator. So I have not covered it, I think. So there will be two operators, increment and decrement operator. I can write it here. So increment means increment operator. So another one is increment operator. Okay. So increment operator in the sense the variable value, variable with the plus plus, which means it will increase the value by 1, and which when will you give I minus minus, it will reduce the one value from the variable. The same thing. So this is called post increment. You can, which means we are using plus symbol after the I variable. So if you give this also, it will be the same, but there is one simple difference between I plus plus and plus plus I. So here I can give like that. The difference is this will take 2 steps of execution and this will take 1 step of execution, which means here when I say I equal to 10, it will take two steps of execution when you do I plus plus. So first it will assign the value, then it will increment. So if you take 2 steps, when you write plus plus I, it will take a single step of execution, which means assigning the value with the I and incrementation will take a single step. So whichever whenever you want to do, you can, based on that you can proceed with the things, right? So if I say number minus minus, which means here it will take for example the variable value is 5. So here when I say number minus minus, so in this area the value is again 5. When it comes to this while loop, there is a second step. Now the value will be changes to 4, right? This is what I'm trying to do. Otherwise, if you want to happen the same thing at the same time, you can go with the minus minus number also. So the same step, the value will be reduced. That's what, right? So number minus minus. So now 5 is reduced to 4. Now we will check here whether that number is equal to 1 or not. So again the condition is to 4 greater or equal to 1. So number is 4, then value is 1. So again it will multiply, then value will be 5 into 4 into 20, right? So again 20 into 3, 20 into 3, 60, 60 into 2, 120, 120 into 1. Then the condition will go false. Then when it comes to this while loop, so here when I say factorial, when you want to display factorial is, you can say the fact variable will have 120. Now you can execute your program, you will get 120 as the result. Okay. So what you need to see here is there are 3 steps when you are going to work with while loop. The one is before using the condition, you should have initialized that value, right? So here I'm not using I. Okay, so you should initialize your variable value number equal to 5. So this is called initialization. Before using the variable value, you should initialize. Okay. Then that's a problem. Okay. Initialization and spelling mistake. Okay. So now this will be your condition. Okay. Then this will be your increment of variable. So these are the 3 steps you need to consider. Okay. So these 3 steps you need to remember about this whenever you're going for the any looping statement. So that initialization, then condition, then increment argument. So these are the base of your looping, right? So before giving the condition, that value should be initialized because we know that it goes to 120, right? So number equal to 5, it was to go to number up to 1, then the value should be reduced, right? So here you are the statements, right? So inside the statement, okay, when if I remove this value, this statement, so when you use again, this is your command, single line command. When I say double slash, this will be considered as your single line command. So now I'm not increment or decrement. What will happen? Always this number equal to number, this condition is going to be true. So it will give you infinite loop. So when you run this, always, this you will not get any result because it is infinite. So number value is not reduced anywhere, increment or decrement, right? So when you remove this command, it will be your now you will get some result because we are doing the condition properly. So number minus. Okay. So this is called while loop, right? So I'll go with another, reverse the number. So there are 2 ways we can do with the reverse the number. Okay. So I'll create one more class file, new, then class. So here I'll give reverse. Public static void main string arguments. Okay. So I can write here int number equal to 1, 2, 3. Now I want to reverse the number. How I can reverse this number? Okay. So we have learned about an operator, that is modulus operator, right? So I hope you have remember the modulus operator. Okay. So what is the modulus operator? Which is going to give a remainder to you. Okay. Which will give you remainder. Okay. Modular, right? Not a modulus. So you can change to percentage symbol. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to use this operator to complete this program. So now I want to get the result of, instead of 1, 2, 3, I want to get 3, 2, 1. How I can get it? Okay. So here again to 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what will be my condition? This is what you need to think now. So here, what will be your condition? What's going to be your statement? Okay. So when I use modulus operator, what it will do is it will give you the remainder. Okay. So what I will do, I want to get remainder, which means when I want to reverse the number, it must be when I give 3 to 1, 1 to 3, it should give the 3 to 1. So my first, the given number, last digit should come to the first position. So how I can do? Remainder equal to number modulus 10. Okay. So now what it will do? So here I will declare the variable int remainder. So when I say number modulus 10, the remainder is going to be 3. Because when I divide it by 10, it will give 12.3, right? So the 3 is going to be your remainder. So the remainder will comes to this remainder part. Okay. So I'll do one simple solution. Then I will convert into some another result. Okay. So instead of system.out.println, I will use only system.out.print, and here I will print directly remainder. Okay. So here I have declared the number variable as the integer variable. Okay. So when I say number equal number divided by 10, what will happen now? Now the last digit will be removed from the given number. So here I am not doing anything. So from the number variable, okay, from the number variable, this 3 will be removed now. So we will get number equal to only 12 when I use number equal to number divided by 10. Okay. So again it will comes to here. So what condition I need to give to complete this program? This is what my question here. Okay. So anyhow, when I divided by 10, it will give 12. Then again, if I divided by 10, it will give 1. Then again, it will divided by 10, it will give 0, which means it will give 0.1. So the number should be greater than 1. When it goes to below 0, automatically my program should terminate, right? So what I am going to give is a number greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so because when you divide the number 123, which means 123, then it will convert. When you divide it by 10, it will give you 12. Then again it will give you 1. Then again it will give you 0.1. So that time my while loop should terminate. So here I will display my reverse number. If I say because it is outside of our main method, just remove this. If you come here, okay. So here the reverse key. Just I will admit it. Okay. So so it will give you the remainder. So when you print, anyhow, we should not print here. So whenever I get remainder, it's printing over here. So first it will print 3, then 2, then 1. So when you run this program, you will get 3 to 1. Okay. This is what you need to do. 1 to 3 is converted into now 3 to 1. Okay, but this number is not having any value because we are not storing this value anywhere. Right? So this is not the proper way to do the reverse number. So there is one more way. What we can do is, I will declare one variable here, int okay, to do sum equal to sum plus remainder. Okay. So here, if I say sum equal to sum plus remainder, what will happen? Initially, sum value is going to be 0, then 0, then the remainder. Okay. So this one will give you the sum of the digit. When you want to reverse, what you need to do is remainder plus sum into 10. Now you interpret this statement. Okay. So initially the sum is going to be 0, then the remainder value is 3. So now 3 plus 0, it's going to be, now assigning that value into the sum variable. Then it will comes to 12. Then the remainder you will get to 2. So sum again, the value is going to be 3. 3 into 10, we will get to 300. But the remainder value is we will get 2 because it's a second for loop, second loop, right? So then we will get 302. Then again, when you come to here, we will get 1. So 320, the remainder is 1, 321. So now the sum variable will have the value of 321. You can print it over here so that you will get 321. Okay, so here if you say, so if I say remainder is, you can print it over here, sum. So the sum will have the result of the reverse number. Okay. So you can run as Java application will give you 321. Now this 321 will have the value. Okay. Okay. Now what you need to do? I want to have one more thing. When I say number equal to 121, I want to know whether the given number is palindrome or not. Right. So what's the palindrome? When I say 121, then when you reverse the same, it should give the same value, right? So now, before the same program, I'm going to convert into palindrome. So here what you need to do is, before processing this number variable, because we are doing everything with the number variable only, so before going to the while loop, we need to change that value. For example, if I say int temp equal to number, okay. So now what will happen? Then the variable is number. Okay. So now just I have changed the value. Whatever the value I have 121 is given to the temp variable. So now the sum will have the reverse number. So the temp will have the given input. Now you can check. So here you can check if number equal to remainder. Okay. So now what will happen? If this condition is true, we can say the given number is palindrome, right? That's what we have given over here. So here, if I say if the two conditions, not remainder, it should be sum. Okay. So if this condition is true, I can say the given number is palindrome. Otherwise, so here if you say the given number is not palindrome. Okay. So now I am giving the number is 121. And here when you reverse the number 121 will give you the same 121. If this condition is true, I can say the given number is palindrome. Otherwise, the given number is not the palindrome. Okay. So I will run this application. It will give you the given number is not the palindrome. Why it is giving? Okay, we need to check with the temporary variable. Okay. So that's what I did the mistake over here. So when you run this program, run as Java application, the given number is palindrome. We should get. So the given number is palindrome. When I give 131, when I give 131, then the number should not be the palindrome. The given number is not, right. Again, we are getting the given number is palindrome. Why we are getting the for this also we are getting the given number is palindrome. Why? I did anywhere mistake.
I think you should give something like 132. 131 is still a palindrome.
Exactly. So someone is okay. That's good. Great. Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is what we need to do for the palindrome, right? So we started with the small program. See, this is what the that learning curve. From the basic stuff, we need to continue to another. Okay, so reverse the number. What about sum of the digit? This is very simple. We can remove all those things. Okay. Again, we can remove this also. The same logic. What we can do is whenever we need remainder, because again, when you know one small logic, you try to apply the same logic for all the programs. That's what sum modulus 10. You will get the remainder of the last digit, right? So here you can say sum equal to sum plus the remainder. So you will get sum equal to 0 here. The remainder you will get 2. So 2 plus 0 you will get 2. Then again 2 plus 3 plus 1. You will get 6 over here. It is sum. So the same thing. What you need to do? You need to remove that number equal to number divided by 10. You will get no, this variable is not transferred. Same logic. So if you say here sum of digits. Okay. You can say here sum. You will get that result. The sum of the digits. Same logic. So remainder will give you last digit. Sum initially it will be 0. So 0 plus remainder. You will get again. We are doing the same process until the number should be greater or equal to 1. You will get that result. Okay. Sum of the digits is 0. It should be number. Number modulus 10. Okay. So this is what you need to do for the sum of the digit. So factorial we did this palindrome, sum of the digit, reverse the number. Then finally we'll go for the prime number. Okay. So here I'm going to give number equal to 13. Okay. So now we know that the number 13 is prime number. So what is the prime number here? So the number 1 and the same number alone. So except 1 and 13, other numbers, any one of the numbers should be divided by this number so that we can see that is prime number. It should not be correct. It should not be divided, right? So 13 we cannot divide by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 up to there, right? So anyhow we can say that 13 is prime number, right? So how we can solve this? I'll start with the initial step. For example, I can say int equal to 2 because we cannot divide, right? So we should not divide by 1 and the same number. This is the condition. Okay. So what I'm going to do is initially I'm going to declare I equal to 2. Then I'll say while it must be I less than number. Okay. It must go up to there, which means from 2 to 12. Okay. Then I'm going to divide number modulus, sorry, correct, modulus I equal to 0. till I equal to 2. So then from 2 to 10, number divided by number, which means any one of the number means 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, any one of the number, giving remainder as 0. How I can convert here sorry, Boolean flag equal to, I can say 2. Okay. So here, if this condition is true, for example, number more or less equal to 0, so I can say I can convert this flag to false. I can say, I think the system is very slow now. I can say flag equal to false. Then I want to break out from this area. So I want to come out. So there is one more statement called break. I think I have covered this break statement during switch statement. It will come out from this. Else, what I need to do? I need to increase the value of I is true. Then it will change the flag equal to false. Then it will break out. Otherwise, still the value is true only, right? So when this condition is going to be true, which means any one of the condition is not matching with the if condition, so that the given number is if it comes inside, then it's not a palindrome. So if it is not come, it's not at all the while loop. If not at all this condition is not matches, we can say that is palindrome. Sorry, it's a what is that? Prime number. Okay. So we'll come to outside of this while loop. We will check if the flag variable. Okay. If I say flag prime number. Okay. Else so here there are a lot of logics people will apply for the prime number. Usually I'll come to that point later. Okay. We'll complete this, then I will come to that point later. Okay, so the given number is prime number. Okay, so here there is one hidden logic we do. When you no need to go up to 13, because anyhow when 6 is not divided, then 12 also is not going to be divided, because its multiple also it's not going to divide. That's a logic. Right? So when the 2 is not divided, then 4 also is not going to be. When 3 is not divided, then 9 also is not going to be divided. Right? So which means we no need to go up to less than number. We can go directly number divided by 2 also. This also fine, because it will reduce the number of executions. Right? This also will give you the same result. We no need to go up to the 12. We can go up to only 5. That's enough. Right? So this is what about the prime number. So guys, I want while loop. We have only less than 1 minute. Please connect again if you have any doubt. We'll discuss after this 1 minute.